Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. UFC's Dana White stuns with late night fight news. Here, Dana White is stirring up excitement for the final two UFC pay-per-views of 2023. First up, at UFC 295 in New York City, we've got Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic headlining a heavyweight title fight. But that's not the end, my friend. Yeezy Prohaska and Alex Pereira are also going to battle it out for the vacant light heavyweight title. Dana White himself called them the most exciting and scariest fighters on the roster. So you know it's going to be an electrifying showdown in the Big Apple. And if that's not enough, just a month later, UFC 296 is heading to Las Vegas. In this showdown, welterweight champion Leon Edwards is defending his title against the cardio machine Colby Covington. In Las Vegas, we'll also get to see a thrilling flyweight title bout. Alexandre Pantoja, the newly minted champion, is making his first title defense against Brandon Royval. Pantoja snagged the belt from Brandon Moreno, and Royval is coming in strong with a 3-fight winning streak. Plus, it's a rematch from their 2021 bout, where Pantoja submitted Royval in the second round. Yup, there's some unfinished business there, and Dana White wants us to know that they're not done yet with these fight cards. So keep an eye on the world of UFC for updates, because there could be even more exciting matchups on the horizon. Ricardo, Ramos, and Jourdain, set to explode in the Octagon. As you know, when two fighters are up for it, they can turn the whole thing into an all-out war. And guess what? UFC featherweight. Ricardo Ramos is crossing his fingers that Charles Jourdain is down for that kind of fight at UFC Vegas 79 this Saturday night. It's going to be one to watch for sure. Recently, he said in an interview,
"Hard fight, really good opponent. He gonna brings the war, and I'm a warrior, so here we go." Yeah.
On paper, it does look like it will be probably a battle. I mean, do you feel like it might be a back-and-forth type fight?
For sure, I hope so.
If we talk about Ramos, it's not just about snagging a victory at UFC Vegas 79. See, he's hoping that a win can kickstart some momentum for him. Additionally, he wants to be more consistent and get in the ring more often. This is why it is not wrong to say that this fight could be a game changer for his career, for sure.
Yeah, I would like to, but we plan things, but it's different to things happens different. So you gotta for me, I put my life in God's hand, so I know he's working on my future. I know I have something in the future waiting for me, so I just gotta be patient, keep working. I'm every day at the gym, and I think that's gonna be the same always.
However, Ramos is keeping his eye on the prize, He's well aware that if he keeps putting in the hard work, an opportunity is bound to come his way sooner or later.
Always training, always in the gym. It's every time they send me a fight, they say, yes, let's go. And I think that's it. One day, soon, probably, we're going to be getting all the stuff we invest in this career.
Now, he's constantly grinding in the training room. And yes, he wants to be prepared when that chance finally knocks. Daniel Cormier claims Stipe Miocic has transformed like never before. Recently, Daniel Cormier has been feeling pretty optimistic about Stipe Miocic's upcoming fight against Jon Jones. Back in the days of March 2021, Miocic had a bit of a break after losing his belt to Francis Ngannou. But man, here's the exciting part. Now, he's been hitting the gym and packing on some extra muscle. Cormier had a chat with someone from Miocic's team, and he liked what he was hearing. Looks like we might see a beefed-up Miocic in action.
I think the best Miocic is in the mid-240s, and he's saying now that he's back around that weight. I spoke to someone in the Miocic camp, and they told me he's never looked better. He looks huge. He looks big. He looks strong. Now, is that going to be enough? I don't know. I'm just giving you this information. I'm pulling the curtain back so that you guys can understand that expect the Stipe Miocic from the title run opposed to the guy we saw later, the small guy, the skinny guy.
And you know what's interesting? Cormier's already know what will happen next. Also, he thinks that just like how Miocic was underestimated in their fights, the same might be happening to him now in the lead up to his clash with Jon Jones.
I remember sitting at press conferences with Miocic, and he would say these things like that. Okay, doubt me. And he would almost smirk. Because he knew what most in the public didn't know was the way he was training, the way he was preparing, and his intent in the fight. Obviously, he beat me 2 times back-to-back when he was saying those things, and I would almost brush him off. Because, again, you take his personality, and you almost take Miocic for granted. You forget he's one of the most dangerous men on the planet. But, again, he's carrying that chip.
Now, fight enthusiasts, doesn't the whole Cormier versus Miocic situation feel like history is on a loop in the Octagon? Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. Aljamain Sterling's fiery argument for Sean O'Malley's title rematch. Right now, Aljamain Sterling's in a bit of a tricky spot in the MMA world. See, he wants a shot at the UFC bantamweight title again, especially against Sean O'Malley, the guy who took his title with a second-round TKO at UFC 292. But here's the twist for you. You know, he's not quite sure if he wants an immediate rematch or if he might jump up to featherweight for his next fight. That's because he's got a buddy in the same division, Merab Dvalishvili, and he'd like to see him get a chance at that belt too. Whereas Sterling's playing it a bit reserved and not committing to one path just yet. He is kind of waiting to see what the UFC wants to do and then making his move. On one hand, it's keeping his options open, but on the other hand, it could make things more complicated, especially since he's a former champ who's not exactly sure about his next step. So, what do you think, guys? Does Sterling's approach make sense, or should he take a more definitive stance on what he wants to do next? Kurt Angle's unbelievable words for Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle has had his fair share of epic battles in the wrestling ring with some all-time greats. He's got this one guy that he holds in incredibly high regard, and that's none other than Brock Lesnar. Lately, Angle sat down on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he couldn't stop singing Lesnar's praises. He sees Lesnar on the top of athleticism in the world of wrestling and MMA. He's adapted to everything in his life, Angle said. The kid is unbelievable. For his size, he's 310 pounds. He's the best athlete I've ever been in the ring with. Angle then recalled getting in the ring with Lesnar to see who was the better amateur wrestler. I did wrestle him one time for real, Angle continued. When he came up from training from OVW, someone went up to him and asked him how he'd do against Kurt Angle. He said, I'd kick his ass. So the guy comes to me and says, hey, Brock said he can beat you in a wrestling match. Certainly, the story of Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar is a real gem. Angle was so eager to get in the ring with Lesnar that he approached him immediately, but Lesnar had a quirky reason to say no. He claimed he couldn't wrestle because he was wearing sandals and didn't want to go barefoot. Talk about a unique excuse, right? Moreover, Angle must have been utterly shocked by Lesnar's incredible strength. So, he saw an opportunity to settle the score. Now, he waited for the perfect moment when Big Show was down on the mat and Lesnar had his back turned. I said, Big Show, get out, Angle said, causing White to exit the ring. I sneak up behind Brock and I tap him on his shoulder and I go, it's time to go. So we went for about 15 minutes. The wrestlers will tell you that I kicked his ass, that I dominated him. That's not true. I beat him, but I didn't beat him by much. I took him down twice. He didn't take me down at all. And as the podcast conversation rolled on, Angle circled back to the topic of his amateur match against Lesnar. Someone asked him what he used to take Lesnar down, and you can bet that's a question a lot of wrestling fans were curious about. Simply, Angle must have had some slick moves up his sleeve for that one. However, Kurt Angle's got a lot to say about Brock Lesnar, and one thing that surprised him was that Lesnar never made a go at training for the Olympics. Considering Angle himself is a former gold medal winner, he believes Lesnar had the potential to achieve that legendary milestone. It's kind of a head-scratcher why Lesnar never pursued it, given his incredible talent and athleticism. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.